Joining us here on the Rich Eisen Show in advance of a huge Wrestlemania event. Huge for us here on Peacock because it's going to be streaming live for the first time exclusively on Peacock this Saturday and Sunday, the 10th and the 11th of April. And on night one, part of WrestleMania 37's Monster Card, this man is going to defend the WWE Championship against former champion Drew McIntyre. He is none other than Bobby Lashley here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Bobby?
Hey, I'm fantastic, man.
Thanks for joining us here. Do you have any sense of is Die Hard a Christmas movie, Bobby? I didn't think we'd go in this direction. What do you think, Bobby? Is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not? What do you think?
I gotta say it is. I gotta say it is. I believe it is. I think that they used so much in it, and it was around the Christmas time and everything. There was a lot of Christmas stuff that was involved in the movie, so I have to say it was a Christmas movie.
Well, thanks for joining us, Bobby. I appreciate you calling in here. How's life for you these days?
Christmas time, not a Christmas movie, a movie during Christmas time.
Well, I guess Christmas Day, if you will, is coming for all of us here on Peacock, as well as the WWE with WrestleMania 37 being exclusively on Peacock. How is everything looking down? Are you in Tampa already at Raymond James side of the Super Bowl in this year's WrestleMania? Are you ready for this?
Yeah, well, I'm ready. I'm not in Tampa yet. I'm actually in Denver. I just left my last training session before I leave out of the cold and head down to the warm down in Tampa. But I'm definitely ready, and I'm ready to head down there and do some business, do some work.
Well, I was in that stadium for the Super Bowl, and the fact that there were fans there. How often have you wrestled? Have you performed in front of fans lately, Bobby?
Well, I think it's been a year. It's been about a year. And for us, it was kind of challenging because when the pandemic happened, everything got shut down. We were kind of stuck in a building, and we were doing shows with no audience at all for some time. But then after that, we had the Thunderdome, and we put the screens up so the fans were able to log in and watch us. So then it made it a little different. So it's been okay, but we're definitely ready for the fans to get back.
Well, and that's going to be again on Peacock coming up this weekend. How does one go from Missouri Valley College to be the NAIA National Wrestling Champion in the 177-pound category as you were to the WWE? Walk me through how you got started on that journey, Bobby.
Oh, boy. That was a long journey. I grew up in Kansas. My dad was in the military, so we were all over the place. I ended up getting a scholarship to Missouri Valley. Went up there, and I was pretty successful down there. I took fourth as a freshman, and then I won nationals my sophomore, junior, and senior year. And 177 went to 184 to 197. And then when I was at the Olympic Training Center after college, I wrestled at 96 kilos, which was 211 pounds. And I was pretty successful there. I took second to the World Championships, the Military World Championships, and represented the United States Army team at World Championships and for nationals a few years. And then Kurt Angle, which was wrestling in the WWE, came down to the Olympic Training Center when I was training, and he and I started talking, and he was like, man, you got a great look. You ever think about doing professional wrestling? I was a big fan of Kurt's growing up anyway, from high school to college and into the WWE, so I was a fan of his, and I already knew Kurt, so it was kind of a big deal that he came to me, but he kind of opened up the door for me to come in. And to make a long story short, after I met Kurt, I was still at the Olympic Training Center, and I was training to make it to the 2004 Olympics. That was my goal. And on the way through, after me and Kurt, a few months later, I was in a bank. The bank got robbed, and these guys came in shooting. I took a dive down to the ground, split my knee open, ended my amateur wrestling career.
Get out of here.
And, I ended my amateur wrestling career because I landed on my knee, exploded my knee, and I had to get my bursa taken out, my meniscus. It just huge damage. But before that, a couple months before that, Kurt had saw me at the Olympic Training Center. He already passed my number along. So after I had surgery, one of the guys from WWE called me up, and I'm sitting there laying on my couch thinking, I can't believe this happened. 20-something years of amateur wrestling. This is my main goal. These guys come in, shot up a bank, ended everything for me. I didn't know what to do. I was like, what next? sitting on my couch praying. Out of nowhere, I get a call from WWE. They're like, hey, we saw you at the last wrestling tournament. Kurt spoke really highly of you. We want to bring you in for a tryout. And, I thought it was a joke. I thought, this is crazy. I'm on my couch praying, and out of nowhere this happens. But then, I rushed my rehab and got through, went down to the tryout. Didn't tell them nothing about my knee or anything like that. I wanted to keep that completely quiet.
Sure.
Because I didn't want them to cut it out or not give me an opportunity because of the knee. So I didn't say anything. So I had to rehab like crazy, and then I was able to go to the tryout, and I was able to fake it through the tryout. I looked good at the tryout. They liked me at the tryout, so they offered me a contract. So from then, it was all history. I came through, and I always tell people, when I got into WWE's been my Olympic gold medal. This WWE championship was my Olympic gold medal because it's at the top, and that's where I wanted to get, and that's where I trained my whole life for. So when I got into WWE, I just busted my butt for years and stayed on the grind, and finally I won the WWE championship, and finally I get to main event WrestleMania. 14 years or 17 years since that date of the bank robbery.
No kidding. So
yeah, I really skimmed through the story. The story is really elaborate, but I didn't want to go into too much detail.
My gosh, I think.
Story.
Well, let's just say you hit the important details, Bobby. I mean, Bobby Lashley here on the Rich Eisen Show. So you're saying it's a combination of hard work, determination to succeed in amateur wrestling, a chance encounter with Kurt Angle, and then a random moment in time in which your life was on the line because you walked into a bank at the wrong place at the wrong time. And altogether, that's part of the reason why we're going to watch you go against Drew McIntyre in WrestleMania 37 on Peacock Saturday night, essentially.
It's destiny, man. It was destiny.
Wow.
Destiny. I remember laying in the bank. I remember laying down on the floor because what happened, these guys came into the bank, kicked the door down. I was in the back of the line, and all the tellers were facing the door, and I'm facing the tellers. So when they kicked the door open, the guy automatically went shooting, which was unfortunately right towards the back of my head. But because everybody was screaming because these guys were breaking through the door, I had turned my head to turn around. So the bullet essentially went right over my shoulder into the wall. And when I saw them, I took a dive down to the ground. So I'm laying down on the ground thinking, what is going on? I was thinking, and what went through my mind over and over again, it was like, this is not the way it's supposed to end. I kept thinking that over and over again. I'm completely vulnerable laying on my stomach on a bank when it's getting robbed. And all I was thinking is, man, this is not how it's supposed to end.
And remarkably, it was a beginning of a remarkable ascent, not just physically off the ground, but essentially to superstardom here with the WWE. I've got Bobby Lashley here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's stick in the here and now. Can we stir something up with Drew McIntyre? You want to talk some crap, smack, whatever you want to do
absolutely.
here? What do we got here for Saturday night? Something that we could throw on a bulletin board or something like that? What do you got for me, Bobby?
Well, me and Drew have history. I've beaten Drew down every chance that I've gotten. He's got a little bit on me, but it hasn't been the mauling that I've put on him at several different times. Mm-hmm. And you know what? This is one thing that I can say. Everybody in the wrestling business, when they get on top, they look at the guys that they can have like this, I want to have a cool match with. That's how it's been lately. I want to have a cool match with him because that guy's really good. I came back into wrestling after some time off, and I formed a faction called the Hurt Business.
Yes, sir.
And the Hurt Business is a group of guys that had the potential to be on top, but didn't want to play the politics, didn't want to play the PC stuff, just wanted to go out and beat people up. And that's what we've been doing this entire year. So this is destiny for me, main event WrestleMania. So Drew is just merely a stepping stone for me. He's a great champion, and I think Drew is going to go down in history as probably one of the greatest WWE champions in history. However, right now, I'm just a different breed right now. I'm completely unstoppable right now.
TJ Jefferson, Rich Eisen Show social media grandmaster and wrestling aficionado. I give the floor to you. You asked a question of Drew when he was here the last time. I give you the floor for a question of Bobby Lashley. Go for it, TJ.
What up, champ?
Not too much.
Well, so I have two questions for you, Bobby. One, you know, my buddy Joey Granite spent some time with you in Colombia, and he had nothing but great things to say about you, and he told me to tell you what up. Two, you mentioned the Hurt Business, Bobby, and we just on screen posted a tweet from MVP that basically said you and he are the Hurt Business, and they're always looking for talented applicants. Have the day you deserve. And I'm sitting here, Bobby, and I just want to kind of pitch myself to you as a member of the Hurt Business.
Wearing a T-shirt.
I have the Hurt Business T-shirt right now, live on Peacock, out to millions and millions of watchers, Bobby. And, you know, my thing is, bro, like, you're on TV for 3 hours a day on Monday, and then you have all the other championship stuff that you need to do. But here I am, Bobby, 15 hours a day unscripted, that I could preach the gospel of the Hurt Business for you guys. So I'm just saying is if you're looking for that applicant, I can be your guy. And as a matter of fact, I took
your shot.
I took it upon myself to put up some photoshops of, and then you see there's me, you, and MVP.
Yes, look at that.
You know, I DM'd you to your Instagram so you can see these pictures. You know, me and the Hurt Business. And also, Bobby, the Hurt Business is all about the gold, right? You're a champion. You're all about money and championships,
YOLO,
correct?
TJ, YOLO. Yes, YOLO.
Great sell.
So I want to say this, Bobby, on this website, Wrestle Rumble on Instagram last year, I won every single NXT title. 8 of them, Bobby. So I'm draped in gold myself. I got the NXT Heavyweight Championship over here. And there's me, you, and MVP, me with my 8 NXT belts. I got the NXT men's heavyweight, the women's heavyweight, Bobby. I got the cruiserweight. I have the North American. I got the tag team. I have the UK men's and women's.
Ask him the question. Do it.
So, Bobby Lashley, what I'm saying is, if you need someone for the Hurt Business, I think I'm your guy. And I want to put pressure on you. I'm going to ask you for a slow yes instead of a quick no. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. That was a hell of a pitch. You know what? I typically tell people, because people usually pick those pitches at the wrong time. I'm in the middle of an interview right now, so it's personal time. If you call me on my business phone, we can talk business.
All right, so I
gave all that package. Call me on my other line, my business line. We can sit down. We can have a discussion about it.
I'd like that.
Right off the bat, I got to say your pitch was quite impressive.
Thank you, sir.
And we're always looking for people that like to strive for that goal. So I will definitely keep you in mind. So when you do call me on my business line, then we can discuss this.
You're all about business. I'm with it.
I'm all about business.
And one more thing.
Let me just quickly jump in here. Bobby, he is trying to help brand you. This is kind of business in a way.
Yeah.
This is your personal time, but he's helping brand you on this show. And as the man whose name is on the show,
he's got his name on coffee cups, Bobby.
I'm more than happy to lend this platform to TJ on behalf of joining your Hurt Business. So I'm now, if you will, coming in top rope on top to try and pin this thing down for you, TJ.
I appreciate that.
Just
something to think about, Bobby. Just something to think about.
Man, well, I got to tell you, with a reference like that, I think we might be able to do. I got to give MVP a call, but I'm sure he'll probably be on the more positive side, and I think we might be able to do some business.
All right.
Like I said, I know we got to run it by P, but I'm okay. and one last thing, Bobby.
Oh gosh!
One last thing I just want to ask you this question about. There's a guy that all of us want to see you in the ring with, and it's Brock Lesnar. And I'm just wondering, even if it doesn't happen in the WWE ring, are you willing to take that to Dana White or Scott Coker, and we could see this in the UFC or Bellator cage? You and Brock Lesnar.
I don't really think that it's a case of finding a venue to do it, because I'm sure Vince would, I'm sure Scott would, I'm sure Dana would, I'm sure anybody would want to host that fight. It's just Brock. It's him. I'm prepared. I'm ready. His Brock and his people, whenever they think that it's necessary, whenever they think it's a big enough deal, then I think that they will go and step up. And I think at that point, it'll happen. I'm sure, right now my loyalty is to the WWE, but I'm a fighter. I've been a fighter my entire life. So I don't care where it is. I just think it needs to happen for the fans. So I think that's the question that you need to pose towards Brock, because I think that if he says yes, we can do it anywhere.
Nice.
Bobby, thanks for the time. Thanks for the call. Let's do this more often. And congrats on all your success. And best of luck this weekend on WrestleMania. We'll be watching right here on Peacock.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
You got it. Safe journey. That's Bobby Lashley, at Fight Bobby on Twitter, at Bobby Lashley on Instagram. What a story. What a night it will be on Saturday night. That's just the first night of the 2-day WrestleMania 37 event that's going down at Raymond James Stadium. Super Bowl 55. Now here comes WrestleMania 37, exclusively right here on Peacock. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.